This is very bad news for Samsung fans. As we know, the hype for the Samsung S25 is growing, and we are now less than a month away from the Samsung January Unpacked event. The Galaxy S25 is already an expensive and flagship lineup phone from Samsung, and the recent news from the popular South Korean newspaper, the Jungang, might be bad news for fans waiting for the S25 lineup. This newspaper reported that this time the cost of the new Samsung S25 Ultra might be on the higher side. You may be asking, how much higher? Well, the report says that the S25 price may rise by roughly 150,000 won, and if we convert it into dollars, it roughly converts to $105. A price hike of over $100 will make this expensive phone even more expensive than before. Now we have to see what Samsung has to offer to validate this price hike. Well, another Korean news website, Yonhap News, gave a valid reason for this price hike. According to this news, the political stability of the Korean peninsula is not good, and due to that, the Korean currency has weakened against the dollar. This will result in higher costs for importing parts and components, thus increasing the price of the phone. At the start of this year, the Samsung S24 launched at a price of $800, which means if we add up the price hike, then it will now start at $900. For the S25 Plus, you may have to spend $1,000 for the base version. This leads us to the starting price of the S25 Ultra at $1,400. Remember that the S24 was already more expensive than the previous S23 version. Some reports also claim that the new Snapdragon 8 Elite chip is really expensive to manufacture, and that could also be a possible reason for the price hike this time. Sadly, the bad news doesn't stop there. Leaker Roland Quant claims the Galaxy S25 will start with just 128 gigabytes of storage in its baseline model, which is absolutely too little to work with for a flagship device. Between high-quality photos, videos, and even just basic games and apps, that amount of memory would fill up in no time at all. With potentially increased costs due to a variety of socioeconomic factors, Samsung might have no choice but to raise prices, making upgrades to the internal memory less likely to arrive this year. However, I urge you to exercise a fair amount of skepticism with leaks like this, as pricing isn't always decided until close to the release date. Well, let me remind you of some of the basic features and specs of this phone. The S25 Ultra will come with the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset globally, but that's not the case with the regular S25 models. The Snapdragon version of the S25 will only be available for the North American market, while other big markets like Europe and India will have to settle with the low-powered and inefficient Exynos 2500 chipset. Of course, this phone will come with the new feature of artificial intelligence and One UI 7.0 out of the box. The rest of the phone will be more or less the same. It will come with the same 25-watt wireless and 45-watt wired charging speeds and a similar camera setup, but with new software optimizations and features, including a 200-megapixel main camera. The screen will be the same older generation panel of the S24 with a 120 Hz smooth refresh rate. So, what do you think? Is this price hike from Samsung justified or not? Or are they charging more for the same phone? Tell me your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel for similar tech reviews and updates like these. Peace.